see. You send
I
it
don't know.
to.
Does anybody think? I mean, I think Trump actually wants to pull the troops out,
Uh huh.
right? Like, I don't think it's because. I mean, I think it's for personal and petty reasons. I think he wants to own the libs, right? Like, he wants to own all the people who were pushing for them to stay, right? Like, he wants to um, screw over the
Oh,
like
okay. Where'd you send me the political article?
um, oh, I didn't send it to you.
Didn't look like it.
Um, I think he wants to this isn't the one. Yeah, I think he wants to own the libs.
Mm-hmm.
I think he wants to own some people at the Pentagon. I think he doesn't necessarily get along with the weapons people, because I think those guys kind of run the show, right? Like, that's the most important industry in the country, and it has been for a long time, right?
Right.
Like, weapons of war, like that's what like that's America's biggest
There you go.
uh,
I bet he's doing someone a favor by pulling them out. I feel like it's too tactical for him to be doing on his own.
and
I mean,
that's
it's
what I was
one of
going to
the
get to.
things
So
that he
there's
ran
that.
on.
Well, yeah, there's that. So I think he's also trying to make himself look good, like set himself up with the base, like, see, look, I got us out of the war, right? Like, I said I
Yeah.
was going to do that, and I did it. And he thinks he can get that done. And I think it's also what was he wants to privatize what effort there is there, right?
Yeah.
I think he wants to set the stage for, what's it called, Academic, for Eric Prince's new company, the guy from Blackwater, Betsy DeVos's brother-in-law
Mm-hmm.
or brother. Like, I think that's what he's trying to accomplish, all those goals. Plus, the more they push back, I feel like the more he is committed to doing it, because I think like the lib take is that he wants to fuck up Joe Biden's transition. He wants to
Mm-hmm.
make it harder, so that Biden has to like send troops back and whatever. Like, he has chaos at the Pentagon. I think he wants to do that, maybe a little bit, but I think it's more so about that other stuff, like proving that he did with the base. I think that's a video at top, right?
Yeah, it seems like it. Let me see what this is.
Yeah.
Good afternoon. I'm Chris
Yeah.
Miller, Acting Secretary
I think
of Defense.
he thinks it's like an easy promise
to update
to
you on President Trump's plan to bring the wars in Afghanistan and Iraq to a successful and responsible conclusion.
Oh, dude.
And to bring our brave service members home. From Kabul to Kandahar and from Mosul to Fallujah, hundreds of thousands of America's finest sons and daughters who selflessly answered the call to serve in the Army, Navy, Air Force, Marine Corps, and Coast Guard have brought us to this point. By January 15th, 2021, our forces, their size in Afghanistan, will be 2,500 troops. Our force size in Iraq will also be 2,500 by that same date.
Still 5,000 troops.
This
Yeah.
is consistent with our established plans and strategic objectives, supported by the American people, and does not equate to a change in U.S. policy or objectives. Moreover, this decision by the President is based on continuous engagement with his National Security Cabinet over the past several months. If the forces of terror, instability, division, and hate begin a deliberate campaign to disrupt our efforts, we stand ready to apply the capabilities required to thwart them.
Yeah.
Look at this shit, though. Minutes after the announcement, the AP reported that 2 Katyusha rockets landed inside Baghdad's fortified green zone near the embassy, the largest embassy in the world, signaling an end to an informal truce announced by an Iran-backed militia in October. Yeah, I'm sure that wasn't the CIA
Or
or
I mean,
the
what did
CIA
you see
backed
that
militia.
report that Trump tried to go ahead and bomb Iran immediately after he lost the election?
Oh, I didn't see that, but
Yeah, there was a
I
report
wouldn't be
about that.
surprised. I mean,
Like,
yeah,
I
I mean,
think I
I'm
could
not
probably
sure how
find
this
it.
ties into Iran. Like I said, Trump's worldview
Well, because
is
I mean,
Fox News
the
grandpa,
overall, I mean, the
right? He
overall
watches shit
thing.
on Fox News and gets
Yeah,
pissed off about it. So he wants to own Iran. Like he wants to hit them, right?
yeah.
Because he sees it as like something that the U.S. presidents have failed to do. Like they didn't have the balls to strike back in
Hmm.
a significant way. And I think that's what he was doing with Soleimani. Like he was really trying to provoke them into giving him an excuse to go to war, and they didn't give it to him. And I think he still almost went anyway, because he wants to like check that off the list. Like he thinks that like, oh, like Iran is a huge threat, and they're gonna fuck up all of our interests if we don't destroy them. And I think he thinks that like everybody else was just like too scared to do it, right? So
Yeah.
yeah, I think he wants to mess around with Iran, and I think he also thinks that like there's no like glory or honor left to be had in Iraq or Afghanistan.
Hmm.
So he wants to start a new war and get
Well, I mean, look
get the
at this one.
recognition
Look
for
at
it.
this quote from Ben Sass. He called the withdrawal a weak retreat, does not ground in reality, and will make the world a more dangerous place. I
Yeah,
mean, how?
it's so bizarre that I mean, it's not bizarre. Like we know exactly why they're doing it, right?
Right.
Like they're doing it to, um, you know, the racket, right? Like they need the permanent war to stay on. It's a bipartisan consensus.
Hmm.
They spend trillions of dollars there, and we talked about it last night. It's basically all just flushed down the toilet, right? Like it's just going straight to contractors, and there's no value being provided for it. It's a huge grift, and a lot of those people have money going to their districts, and the weapons manufacturers are very good at playing the game like that. Like they have like facilities all around the country in important districts, and I think, like I said, it's a bipartisan consensus that war is good for empire, and I think they think that there's no downside to it because they don't care. Like they want to spend the money, and they have an excuse to spend the money, and it's good for American capital, right? Like that's, like I said, that's our number one industry, and this is $1 trillion every year going right into the military to mostly go to weapons manufacturers. It's not paying soldiers salaries,
Right.
and so I don't think that's going to land with too many American people, though, right? Like if we
How
draw
could
down,
it?
it'll be so dangerous for our troops. Think about the
No,
poor
they've
troops. They'll
been
be in
over
so
there for.
much danger.
I mean, we've had troops over there
Nobody
for 20
believes that.
years,
Yeah,
but
nobody's going to believe that.
But yeah, let me go that Iran article because I mean the whole thing is that he put up a front like if he was really anti-war, but I mean he's not, and then this troop withdrawal, I mean it
No,
suggests
he's anti
otherwise.
those wars,
Yeah,
right? Like, because those, like I said,
those were
there's no
Obama's
glory
war.
left. Yeah, and those wars are done, right? Like,
Right.
they're not, like, he can't win those wars. He can't do anything. He can't accomplish anything in Iraq or Afghanistan that'll give him credit, right? He can
Uh huh.
only do things that'll harm him. And
So yeah, it
I
says
don't think he cares about the money, obviously, right? That's what I say. Is like,
huh.
I don't want to do endless war because we can't afford it. Where, like, I mean, we can afford it, right? But like
Right.
in their worldview, we can't afford it. It's $1 trillion a year that would be better spent at home. Like the stat that always drives me nuts is we could afford free college for everybody on just the increase in the military budget from last year to this year. Just the $80 billion extra that went into the military this year would have been enough to send everybody to college for free. Like, these are policy decisions. It's a policy decision to leave the country drowning in debt while the weapons manufacturers get trillions of dollars to go fuck shit up in these foreign countries. And it's a shitty place to be. And it's shameful. It's downright shameful that we would do that with so much suffering at home. And there's still, this whole time, after all these crises going on, and they're still that committed to that racket.
Yeah. So.
There's no reason that any of those people care
Mhm.
about any Afghanistan. Did you see like Mitch McConnell was talking about like violence against Afghanistan, like Afghani women and stuff, like trying to sound woke about it. Dan Crenshaw was too.
Yeah.
Like their messaging is like, you know, like id poll shit about the Afghani like women. It's just pathetic, man. Like I said, like that stuff's gonna jump the shark if we
Yeah.
keep up like that, because there's nobody buys that stuff now, and they're getting more ridiculous about it, using like identity politics to justify, you know, like imperialism. It's disgusting.
Let me go back to that Iran article. Then you see Iran warns of crushing response if Trump targets nuclear site. So it was reported that Trump last weekend looked at options for striking Iran's main nuclear site, but was dissuaded from taking action after his advisors warned it might lead to a larger conflict in the Middle East. So I mean, he they got close to this after they killed the Iranian general. What was his name? Solomon.
Soleimani,
So yeah,
Qasem Soleimani.
yeah, after he ordered that drone strike on this dude, and
Yeah.
I was sure the next day because Iran went ahead and attacked one of the bases there, and I was sure that was about to pop off something, and he actually took a tempered response after that strike, but then immediately, you see that. I mean, he's looking again at military options over there, and I mean, I wouldn't have put it past them to doing something extreme like that. I mean, just because he's on the way out the door and he doesn't really give a fuck anymore.
Oh, did you see this? The at least one Democrat, however, said they agreed with the president's move. Representative Adam Smith from Washington,
yeah, I saw that.
chairman of the House Armed Services Committee, said he spoke with Miller and believes reducing the U.S. presence in Afghanistan to 2,500 troops is the right policy decision. While the history of conflict in the region is complex and predates our direct involvement, after nearly 20 years of armed conflict, Americans and Afghans alike are ready for the violence to end. I just don't see how you could disagree with that, and I think you're obviously full of shit if you have a different take than that. I don't know what you're accomplishing there, and you're still going to have 2,500 troops there, and it's still going to be supplemented by plenty of mercenaries and the most high-tech weapons.
Yeah, and
like we have the drone war still too.
Right.
Like,
I mean, not like we're
there's
not
any
going to stop.
attack, we
We're
would be
going to stop
doing
sending
it.
drones over there too. So
Exactly. Like we can take out anybody at the drop of a hat. Like we have such precision satellite like targeting systems that you know it's not a mistake. Like we don't kill civilians by accident, right? Yeah, this is
So you know what? Why don't we go to that? Let's go talk about the Zuckerberg for a little bit. Yeah, put that up on the title.
yeah.
Let's see.
And these guys are really covering themselves in shit, the ones who are pushing back. Like, if this becomes an issue, like, as he starts doing this, right? Like, when they start doing it, and they're going to have more of these talking heads, these, like, Senator Duckhead on TV talking about pulling their hair out and saying how dangerous it's going to be. They're going to look really pathetic, and they're going to look really dishonest, right? Like, I just wish I mean, they're both so brainwashed, like, the Democrats and the Republicans are all so confused by everything, but I think some of that stuff gets through, right? Like, it's very rarely that you see partisans. I mean, the Republicans will sometimes criticize their own for not being, gung-ho enough, but the Democrats, like the liberals, never criticize the Democrats, right? Ever, unless it's like the Squad, or like someone like that.